from the oldest city in the USA, St. Augustine tonight, with our guests, Joseph Marks, Luisa Bella, musical guest, Ramona Quimby, and your host, Jorge Rivera.
Welcome to St. Augustine tonight. Yes, our show number 4. We keep surviving week by week. Hey, and we once again want to thank Foxtrot Studios for this wonderful banner we find of the Bayfront. We want to thank 57 Treasury for their wonderful flowers. They're more than a florist. Remember that. So whatever event, it's good to check with them. Also, our caterer for today, incredible food from B Streets. B Street Eats is the name of the place. That man, Harry, is an amazing chef, and the guests will be will tell the praises of this wonderful place. Also, we want to thank, you'll see the furniture later, from Garrett Brothers Home and Decor. Wonderful, wonderful. You know, it's Venus temperatures out there. I don't know if you've been out there, but it is Florida. And it's very, very hot. I wear a suit on my way here, and I need oxygen. The other thing I wanted to say, I had this conversation with a friend of mine's in LA, and he went to a restaurant. And I said, how was it? He said it was great. But when I got the bill, it was something like $268, okay? I said, wow. So we got this conversation going, and I actually checked the 10 most expensive restaurants in the world. Oh my God. And most of them are in New York, Paris, or somewhere in Japan. The most expensive one was somewhere in Japan, where they actually buy this cattle, prized cattle. Then they take that beef and they age it or they do something to it. Bill per person, your price per person to sit in that restaurant before you drink anything is about $600. $600 before champagne or wine or anything like that. Compared to this new phenomenon happening in England. What's happening in England, London is doing it, Russia is doing it, and now all over the north of England is happening. They have these cafes where you go and eat and you pay by the minute. No lie, and they're popping everywhere. It's about 9 cents a minute. And they were talking to the owner, and they said, well, how does that work? I mean, well, there is the one guy who comes here. He times himself in 3 minutes, takes 2 cups of tea, eats as many biscuits and scones as he can, and then he says, I'm out of here. And that's 18 cents, okay? But most people are more civilized. They come to this place. You can make your own tea, your own coffee. It looks like Mama's bakery shop. You know, Grandma brought in cookies, all kinds of wonderful things. They have books you can read. They have Wi-Fi. They have board games. They have, it's an incredible little place, and you pay per minute. So when you come in, there's 2 ways of doing it. Number 1 is you check in like in a hotel, and you say, I'm here. All right, what time is it? All right, your time, blah, 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 and they give you a little piece of paper, and you go. You wander, you go in the kitchen. You got to do your own plates on the way out. You got to wash your dishes, okay? All right, so that's one thing. Now, in the other places, in Russia, the way they do it is when you go in, they give you an alarm clock. And you say, I think I'm going to stay an hour. All right, we'll set the alarm. And you carry this alarm clock as you're making your tea, you're grabbing your little food, you're getting your computer to eat. And I think that they call them Cypherplot, which means clock face is what they call these places. So in England now, they're popping in the north because it's cheaper, you know, per square foot to have a place than in London. But in London, there's one already. So keep your eyes open for that. We are going to have a tremendous show tonight. And our guests are Joseph Marks from Golden Way Film. Our other guest is Luisa Bella from the St. Augustine Ballet. And we have Ramona Quimby's in the house. So let's cut to these messages and we'll be right back.
At Martinez & Associates, we can help you with many things. Number one is income for life throughout your retirement, which is very important. Number two would be Medicare choices, which are very confusing. Number three is a legacy for your loved ones. And finally, keeping you independent throughout retirement. My name is Tuli Martinez. Call this number. Y hablamos español.
At St. Augustine Distillery, we're part of a new generation of American craft distillers. Family owned and operated, we are committed to making the best possible spirits using local agriculture. Our distillers make everything by hand, from mashing and blending to distilling and tasting each and every batch. We distill and bottle everything we sell, making sure that the spirits are just right before barreling and aging. Bottled by real people, we love showing our guests not only what we do, but why we do it. We're passionate about educating our guests to not only what goes into each bottle, but how to make the best possible cocktails. We love St. Augustine, and thanks to your purchases, we're able to give back to the community and help local organizations each and every day.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
St. Augustine Distillery, handmade with pride in the nation's oldest city.
Over here. Over here.
Upsy daisies.
What's happening?
That feeling, only better. Turbo. Standard in a 150 horsepower, fun to drive Volkswagen Jetta.
All right, we're back. You know, Mother's Day is coming soon. So we started looking at Mother's Day, and everyone takes Mama. If she's very old, you take her to lunch. If Mama isn't so old, you take her to dinner. All right. Now, most likely Mama, dinner Mama on Mother's Day, is going to have a cocktail. Now, most mothers have mimosas or Bloody Marys. So we went to the expert in town, which is the St. Augustine Distillery. And they were really nice, and they hooked us up with a guy named Mike Doyle. You're going to see him on the screen. And we went to Mike. We were at the ice plant. They were nice to give us access to their bar. And we said, Mike, make us 2 drinks for Mother's Day. Something easy, something a little more complicated. So let's watch what Mike had to do and say. Hey, it's Mother's Day. That's right. St. Augustine tonight knows that Mother's Day is coming really soon. So we talked to some people, and you know, the expert in town is that distillery, St. Augustine Distillery. So they set us up with Mike Dole here. He's an alchemist, really. He turns rocks into gold, but don't tell anybody. And our question, you know, was, how could we make Mother's Day more interesting by having a drink that's not a mimosa or a Bloody Mary, which tend to be the ones people see drinking on that day when you take Mama, if Mama drinks, of course, and if you go in the evening to a nice restaurant. So we came here with Mike, using the great spirits of the distillery, and he's going to introduce us to 2 drinks. One drink is quite simple. You probably can make it at home. And another one is more of a
You gotta
something.
come see me about it.
Yes, you got to see Mike. Now, the second drink doesn't have a name, so keep your eye on it. We'd love you to send us at our Facebook page, St. Augustine Tonight Show, on Facebook, what you would call that second drink that Mike's going to make. So we're going to let Mike do the fire and the rings and just amaze us with what he's going to do here. So it's all yours, Mike.
Okay. So the first drink I'm gonna make is a pretty intricate drink, really delicious. I sent out feelers on Facebook to all the moms out there asking what they like to drink for Mother's Day. And a big response was, well, first of all, vodka. I mean, what mom doesn't like vodka? So we're gonna start with the St. Augustine vodka. We're gonna do 1.5 ounces of that, standard. And then something cool and unique, I made a shrub, and it's a pineapple shrub. Basically, a shrub is apple cider vinegar with some sugar, and then some fresh pressed pineapple. It really all blends together really well. And then of course some fresh lemon to balance that out. And then just a touch for this drink. You're gonna have to come into the ice plant to get this drink unless you can buy this. You wanna buy this. This is a maraschino liqueur. Just a 1/4 ounce. Goes a long way. And then one of my favorite ingredients of all time. Mothers go crazy for it. Orange flower water. Just a few drops. I know you can get this at the store. Publix, Winn-Dixie. Okay. So then, just gonna put some ice in it, give it a good shake. Look at that ice, doesn't that look good? And then wait, hold on. There's one more step. For the final step, we need champagne. Just top that with a little bubbly. Happy Mother's Day. And so for my next one, it's gonna be a gin cocktail. It would be super easy to make at home. You'd have to start with the St. Augustine gin. It's really good, it's a great versatile gin. You could do it with so many different cocktails. This one I'm making is kind of a play off of a gin gimlet. So I make it just like a gin gimlet, so 1.5 ounces, or 2 parts gin to 1 part freshly juiced lime. I can't stress enough, it has to be freshly juiced, or should be. And then 1 part simple syrup. And then we're gonna put some fresh basil in there, along with some freshly cut cucumber, because this gin goes great with these herbs and veggies. And just give it a good muddle. If you don't have a muddle, use a spoon, whatever you got at home. Even when you fill it with ice and shake it, it'll still break up. Give it a good shake. All right, hopefully it's a really nice color. Just a nice glass, whatever you got at home. Doesn't really matter at this point. It's still gonna be delicious. I like to double strain it, just so you don't get any of those little bits and pieces in the drink. All right, and then for the garnish, just for a nice nose, you gotta slap the mint. I'm sorry, the basil. Pop it on top. There you go.
So we want to thank the St. Augustine Distillery for arranging this for us, to meet Mike and show you what these drinks are all about for Mother's Day. We want to thank the Ice Plant for giving us access to this wonderful bar. And it might be early, but let's say Happy Mother's Day now. And thank you, Mike, as always. These
Thanks,
are
Mom,
beautiful.
I love you.
Love you too, Mom. So, hey, next time, we'll come around here again. Maybe something for July 4th, who knows? Have a good one. This is St. Augustine Tonight from the Ice Plant and using distillery spirits. St. Augustine Distillery Spirits, yes.
In any industry, the best known product is the one most frequently purchased. Think of industry leaders like Coke, Nike, and Starbucks. It's true in real estate too. The most successful realtors have strong personal brands. In fact, branding is especially important in the real estate industry. The National Association of Realtors tells us that reputation is the most important factor when choosing an agent. And another word for reputation is brand. It's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Our ingredients are mostly natural. It's palm oil, coconut oil, olive oil. We put cocoa butter, shea butter, and real silk in our soaps. Also, it's something that's pleasing to the eye and you enjoy using it. Come visit us at Antoinette's Bathhouse.
In her special way, and I just have to say, in my life, I love that woman, 'cause she's more than I deserve, and she gets me where I live. I'll give all I have to give. I'm talking about that hummingbird.
So we're back, and it's Mother's Day. Send us a name for that no name. Let's give it a name. Think of Mom. Let's keep it civil. Whether you like Mom or not, but let's keep it civil. So, you know what? Before we start a show, let's allow Ramona Quimby to give us a taste of what they got in store for us.
Check, 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 check.
In any industry, the best known product is the one most frequently purchased. Think of industry leaders like Coke, Nike, and Starbucks. It's true in real estate too. The most successful realtors have strong personal brands. In fact, branding is especially important in the real estate industry. The National Association of Realtors tells us that reputation is the most important factor when choosing an agent. And another word for reputation is brand. It's not who you know, it's who knows you.
So here we're back. Boy, I tell you, some of that music is awesome. I find ourselves here with our first guest, Joseph Marks. Is that your full name, sir, for the record?
I have a middle name I don't use.
Okay. And Joe, a lot of us that know you here in town know you for your your Golden Way Films, and also you have another organization that brings films I haven't seen for a long time.
Well, actually, the St. Augustine Film Society was started by me in 2012. That's the parent organization. It's a 501c3 nonprofit. And we show foreign and independent films that normally wouldn't play in a town as small as St. Augustine. Kind of hard to find, don't show up on Netflix or Hulu. And we've been pretty successful with that. And then in 2014, I wrote a grant, and Community Foundation of Northeast Florida gave us money to launch the Golden Way.
The Golden Way, yes, and that's what I know. And where are you from, Joe, originally?
New York originally.
New York, New York.
Grew up in New York, and then lived on Long Island for a long time.
All right. And how did you get into film? How did film become this passion?
Way back when I was going to school at NYU, and I needed an elective. And I figured, how hard could the film classes be? You sit in a dark room, they show you a movie, you write a report, you're done. And as it turned out, I got an A in that class.
Ah, okay.
Did a little bit of sleeping, but I learned I learned a lot. And have always been interested in film. You know, when I was a kid, I would always go to the movies with my friends. Always liked film as a medium. So retired to St. Augustine, started playing volleyball of all things at my advanced age, and played volleyball with a young lady, Barbara Ottaviani-Jones, who teaches film at Flagler College. After becoming friendly with her, I asked her, you know, can I sit in on one of your classes? And she allowed me to. Well, 3 semesters later, I said, well, this is kind of cool. I think I'm going to start a film society.
Wow.
Excuse me.
Is there any kind of film that you tend to gravitate? Film noir, Italian cinema, American?
I try to give my audience a little bit of everything. We've shown The Rabbit-Proof Fence from Australia, Departures from Japan, The Triplets of Belleville from France, just a smattering all over the place, really.
Wow.
Films from Spain, Only Human.
Are you showing with subtitles, some of these foreign?
Yes.
English subtitles.
My personal preference is to watch the film with subtitles. Normally, if they're dubbed, it sounds kind of goofy and...
yes, I agree.
So
I was in the Czech Republic, and they dragged me to see this film that was released after the communism had fallen, and it was a film about miners, and it had this big critique, and there were no subtitles. And I was amazed, just through the energy of the people, how much I understood of that film. And it's incredible.
And there are plenty of films, even in foreign languages, that you can pretty much follow the action even without knowing the language. There was a film from the Middle East, Wajda, about a young girl, a Muslim girl who wants to ride a bicycle, of all things, which seems simple enough in the United States.
But
in the Middle East, not so much.
Not so much, yeah, yeah.
But it's mostly action, not a lot of dialogue, and it's really easy to follow.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a film like that too, of a man on a journey, and the whole film is just watching him in that journey and his interaction. But you also do The Golden Way, which these films always have a social impact when you watch them. It's about something that makes you think.
That's correct. The mission is to illuminate various critical social issues, educate our audience about them. We frequently will have a guest speaker, a humanities scholar, or a panel of experts in a given field. We've done events on civil rights, comparing the civil rights experience in St. Augustine in the 1960s, 1964 specifically, and compared it to Oklahoma City, which had civil rights demonstrations for years that were peaceful, and then juxtaposed them and had a panel discussion with people from Oklahoma City and from St. Augustine.
Wow, wow. I saw you gave the 13th here at the AME Church.
Correct. We did that. That was a Netflix special. They allowed us to show the movie.
It was nominated for the Oscar too. It wasn't just something.
It's a great piece of film,
documentary.
and we had a speaker from Flagler College, and then a panel of experts, including some incarcerated gentlemen that gave their experience. There was someone from the sheriff's office there. It was an interesting discussion.
But of all the films you showed, I think the one that, of these golden ways that have a message, I think the one that really just really stirred me was when you brought that young man from Sudan.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And tell us a little of that.
Okay.
That is just so powerful.
So there was a film called The Good Lie that was produced and starred Reese Witherspoon. And it details the story of the Lost Boys of Sudan. There was a civil war, one side fighting against another, and these group of boys walked from their villages to Ethiopia. They would turn back at the border. They walked in the other direction to Kenya. Many of them languished in refugee camps for years. This fellow that spoke at that event, Peter Tare, was 10 years old at the time. Learned English in Kenya in the refugee camp by scratching letters in the dirt with a stick. And him and about 3,000 of the kids were brought to the United States, rescued by Catholic Charities, Lutheran Social Services, and another agency whose name escapes me. Peter Tare was adopted, not legally adopted, but supported by a family in Jacksonville.
Like foster parents.
Like sort of. So, and they supported him and provided for his well-being. And he wound up completing his high school. He got a GED here.
A GED, okay.
A GED.
Yeah.
But was able to get into a community college and then was able to transfer to the University of Florida. Got his bachelor's from the University of Florida. I get teary when I talk about this.
Yeah, it's fine.
And a double master's from Brandeis. He's served three terms in the Peace Corps. He's currently in the Peace Corps for the third time. In one of the old provinces from the Soviet Union, Kazakhstan, I think. He's a very energetic, impassioned,
he was so
engaging.
Yes, he was so
individual.
handsome, so gentle. And you think of all the trauma he went. He walked all the way to Ethiopia, and then he turned back when they wouldn't let him in. And to see him there in flesh and blood, yeah, it really, like he says, you get teary-eyed.
Without
spirit.
Without holding hatred in his heart.
His whole family was, and here was a man full of love and hope. It's very incredible.
So, and the mission really is to show stories like this as a way of making St. Augustine. I can't repair the world, but maybe I can make St. Augustine a more peaceful, friendlier, compassionate place to live. And the grant I'm currently working under is provided by Florida Humanities. It's a Florida Humanities grant with funds from the National Endowment for the Humanities. But a group called Compassionate St. Augustine does provide a lot of my funding for continuing this throughout the last few years.
Give love to the world. God bless you for, we're running out of time. God bless you for what you do, my brother. And keep these films. This is Joseph Marks, Golden Way Films. Stay right there. And we'll be back after these messages with our next guest. But my friend, a toast to you.
At St. Augustine Distillery, we're part of a new generation of American craft distillers. Family owned and operated, we are committed to making the best possible spirits using local agriculture. Our distillers make everything by hand, from mashing and blending to distilling and tasting each and every batch. We distill and bottle everything we sell, making sure that the spirits are just right before barreling and aging. Bottled by real people, we love showing our guests not only what we do, but why we do it. We're passionate about educating our guests to not only what goes into each bottle, but how to make the best possible cocktails. We love St. Augustine, and thanks to your purchases, we're able to give back to the community and help local organizations each and every day.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
St. Augustine Distillery, handmade with pride in the nation's oldest city.
Hello, I'm Grant Paxton. Welcome to Foxtrot Creative Studio. Let me show you what we do.
We've been in business for 3 years now. We can create different graphics for you, ads, mailers, flyers, business cards, logos, and even websites. And we're also a printing company as well. So we can create for you the design you need and then the final product. We can usually get you with a design, we can get you a brand new business card in less than 2 days.
Okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our next guest. Yes, our next guest is Luis Abela. Is that your full name?
That is my full name.
All right, and he is from the St. Augustine Ballet. And you guys are doing wonderful things. I've seen your Peter Pan. I've seen the Nutcracker, and I know you have another project. We'll talk a little bit about that. But how long have you been in St. Augustine now?
I came here in 2005.
Wow, wow. So it's 12 years now.
12 years.
Yeah, 12 going on 13. And tell me, where are you originally from, Luis?
I'm originally from Cuba.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and Viva Cuba! All right, our Cuban brothers out there. But tell me, now you trained in ballet. You're not someone who took ballet. This is all you've done all your life.
That's right. That's.
When did you enter ballet?
I got lucky.
Okay.
Countries like ours, you do not have too many choice. They provide you with future, but you have to take what they give to you. I want to be a baseball player. It didn't work out.
I think all Cubans have that fantasy.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Ballet was my job. They give me a training.
At what age did the Cuban government
9
bring
years old, 8, 9.
Oh, wow.
They put you in the boarding school.
Okay, ballet. And how many hours a day?
The whole day.
What's the whole day?
You wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You go to bed at 10:30.
Wow.
At night. 8 years. Wow. So they provide that to you, and
now it's not easy to get to the national ballet school in Cuba.
Like every business, it's an investment that they do to the kids.
Right.
Communist country, they are smart in those kind of things. They choose the kids. They give you 5 years in ballet, for example. They give you 5 years. After the 5 years, they choose 10 of the best in all the region, or the province or state, to the national school. So.
And you were one of the lucky 10.
I was one of the lucky 10.
Like American Idol.
Well,
in ballet.
Listen to this. If I was not one of the lucky 10s, I lose 3 years of the school, regular school.
You have to go
back. So you have to go back 3 years. Wow. So that's the way. They didn't give you a choice. You had to burn your feet there, trying to make it happen. Otherwise, you have 3 choices. You start back in the school. You will go to work because Cuba was involved with the Ethiopian, Angola, African war. So you don't want to do that when you're 17 years old. Or you have to go and cut sugar cane. And I'm not really.
The only sugar you like is in your coffee.
Oh, yeah. A lot of sugar in the coffee, yes.
Wow. So
but
here's a question. Now, here in ballet school, parents go see their kids as their, you know, the years go by. Did your parents have that?
No. Sometimes I talk to my kids. My mom saw me for first time dancing when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
My graduation.
Wow.
Many things, you know, transportation.
Yeah, it's far.
They had to make a living in my hometown. I'm really from a countryside of Cuba, beautiful place, but
Rio de Pinar.
Pinar del Rio.
Oh, Pinar del
where
Rio.
the tobacco
Dyslexia is wonderful, isn't it?
Tobacco farms.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they don't.
Wow.
Here, it's funny because you know, I have a studio here,
Right.
Bella Dance Studio,
Right.
and I have a lot of parents. I have communication with the parents. In Cuba, you don't see the parents. Parents are not allowed to come to the classroom. They, whatever they do with the kids is
it's
the government business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay out.
So they make sure that the investment they do is worth it.
Right.
It works good for me. I will not like my son to go through that. But in a place, in a country, then your future is not clear.
Wow.
Whatever
Comes your way.
Comes your way. You have to take it because
this is the only
it was
channel.
not about me. It was about me as a person, what I can do for my kids.
Right.
So if they didn't give you that opportunity, for hard or difficult it was, I will not be here today.
Right.
Like I said, ballet was my job, dance was my job.
Yeah.
Teaching has been my passion.
Yeah.
Even more than baseball now.
Right.
I discovered with the last, I have a studio for 7 years. Then every year it's getting more exciting, more fun for me to teach. It's like this kid gave me a new life.
I mean, the energy in your studio. I've been in your studio. These
it's,
kids are all in it. And there's all this energy all the time.
And you just, you have to open your eyes to see how fun it is to live with that. I'm lucky.
Do you feel, I mean, you have all this knowledge, you've gone to maybe the Cuban ballet is there in the top 10 schools in the world ballet. But do you feel you learned something from these children?
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
you're teaching them, but
you,
do they teach you something?
God, yes. You learn from this kid every day. I think the most important thing for the teacher is to learn how to communicate. It doesn't matter how much you know. If you don't know how to channel that to the kids, you don't do anything.
You're a bad
right.
teacher.
So by paying attention, they need, how they think, how they act, I can find my way in. That's why they teaching me how to teach them.
Wow.
That's why I say I discover. I'm really curious person.
Right.
I'm like you. I know you've been all over the place, Joe too. It's fascinating how much you learn with people if you just open your eyes.
Observe.
Observe.
Keep quiet.
And it's hard for me because I like to talk a lot. But I go home and when I'm by myself, my wife Julie, it was you don't pay attention to me. I'm paying attention to myself and I'm trying to remember everything.
Julie's in the audience.
So yes, and the new project that I have.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. You have a new, we know you by the Nutcracker and Peter Pan, but now you're bringing something new.
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
In ballet. Wow.
In ballet. And like I say, I have a lot of good help, a lot of good teachers, a lot of good people that has helped me to do this project because I want to do the same thing.
It's a team.
For the community. I'm trying to break down the ballet and enrich that with acting, music, and trying to simplify the story in the way that it's reachable for everybody. Like Mother's Day, bring your mommy there to watch the ballet.
When is this show?
It's May the 13th and the 14th.
All right. At Lewis Auditorium?
Lewis Auditorium.
Okay.
Like I said, you bring mommy. I have a lot of moms, a lot of grandmoms, and say, "Oh, that remind me when I was a little girl." And hear those things. And the show is only 1 hour, short show, and we have an incredible talented kids. So spend the time there with the kids, get involved with that energy, live what I live with them. I promise you, you will not regret that time with them.
So is Alice in Wonderland going to be an eclectic mix of dance?
Yeah, well, I have a wonderful choreographer in the school. So Carolyn Carger, it was the lady that helped to put the music together, because everything has to start from the music.
Right.
I didn't want anything tradition. I want mix of music, because when you sit down to see a ballet, I don't want people to do like Joe, fall asleep watching the movie. I want the people. I want to keep the people away, and it's really hard for ballet. Everybody think ballet. I don't want it to become a routine. I want to every 5 minutes you got some different music, some different dance.
That's
We
great.
have tap.
Oh, wow.
Carolyn, she really put a collection of different music to make sure we reach all the tastes.
All right.
This town is really art
Yes.
town, so we have a lot of musicians.
This is an incredible town.
We have a New Orleans jazz music.
Wow.
We have a classical piano. We have a
Wow. I can't wait to see
variety
that.
of music there. Really interesting.
I've seen your Peter Pan. I love it, but to see something new, it's exciting. We're running out of time, but let me say this. I've been around a lot of artists in a lot of parts of the world, and you're one of those artists where, one of the few artists where the students just adore you and love you so much.
Oh, that's bad. Thank you so much.
Thank you for what you do, my brother. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, all right. We'll be back after these messages with our third guest, Ramona Quimby.
And I have a name for the drink, Mamacita.
The drink Mamacita.
Mamacita.
I like that.
In any industry, the best known product is the one most frequently purchased. Think of industry leaders like Coke, Nike, and Starbucks. It's true in real estate too. The most successful realtors have strong personal brands. In fact, branding is especially important in the real estate industry. The National Association of Realtors tells us that reputation is the most important factor when choosing an agent. And another word for reputation is brand. It's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Over here. Over here.
What's happening?
That feeling, only better. Turbo. Standard in a 150 horsepower, fun to drive Volkswagen Jetta.
At Martinez & Associates, we can help you with many things. Number one is income for life throughout your retirement, which is very important. Number two would be Medicare choices, which are very confusing. Number three is a legacy for your loved ones. And finally, keeping you independent throughout retirement. My name is Tuly Martinez. Call this number. Y hablamos español.
Our ingredients are mostly natural. It's palm oil, coconut oil, olive oil. We put cocoa butter, shea butter, and real silk in our soaps. Also, it's something that's pleasing to the eye and you enjoy using it. Come visit us at Antoinette's Bathhouse.
Okay, we're back. We're back after messages. And we are with the person who represents Ramona Quimby. And your real name for the record is?
Janetta Salyer.
Okay, Janette. Wonderful, wonderful. You know, we had you at the very beginning playing. We love what you do. Where are you originally from?
Okay, I was born in Texas. I've lived around a lot. I would say, we discussed this before, the longest I've ever lived in a place now is St. Augustine.
Wow.
So 7 years. Up until now it was Orlando, Central Florida.
Deserves
so
a hand,
now I'm
I
at St.
say.
Augustine.
So this has become almost home, really.
It's here.
Yeah.
I love it.
Now, your band is about, how big is your band?
My band goes from 2 to a 9-piece.
Wow.
It's venue and budget specific. So if the bigger the stage, we can't all fit, but we try and, in town, typically we play in St. Augustine, duo, trio, 5.
Okay.
And then bigger things, we do 7 and 9.
All right. Now, how did you get into singing? You have such a beautiful voice. How did you?
My mom is a singer. My grandfather is a singer. My grandfather is an accordion player, and he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame for being the Yankee Stadium accordion player.
Oh.
He has played at Carnegie Hall. He's played piano at Carnegie Hall. My mother has sung all over the country. So I've always been a singer. I was born a singer.
It's in your DNA.
It's there.
Can you remember the first time you sang in front of a group of people?
Yes, I sang Paper Moon by Natalie Cole.
And how old were you?
I was 3. So it was 1989.
Wow. 3-year-old and singing that song.
Yeah.
What is it about singing that makes it so special?
It's the best. Statistically, singing is the happiest job you can have.
Huh.
If you look, the
Didn't know
top
that.
100 happiest jobs, singing is the job where you just get to go and express yourself, and you get to hold the microphone, and it feels good.
Wow, wow. Okay, so let me do here. The question people hate is, if I had to put your singing or your band and the music you guys play into a genre, what would be the closest thing you could throw an anchor to?
Good music. No?
Oh, you could be a diplomat in the United Nations with that answer.
All right. Well, you know, I play with a lot of jazz players.
Okay.
We play a lot of, you know, traditionally black music.
Okay.
So we played, you know, R&B, hip hop, soul, music. I sing all music. I love country music. I love pop music. I love standards. So I listen to every kind of music.
So if I went into your MP3 player, I'd find from
much
opera to hip hop
everything. To Marilyn Manson, to a techno.
Wow.
Everything.
Wow, wow. And who do you think have been some of the influences?
Michael Jackson is my favorite of all time.
Yeah. So many people say that.
He's the best entertainer. If you're in, so I'm a singer, but I don't hold an instrument, so I don't necessarily have an instrument to hide behind. So when I'm on stage, I have to really be able to engage the audience. Anita Baker is a great entertainer.
Yes,
She
I
can really
loved her.
romance the audience.
What a voice, too.
You know, I've seen a lot of singers perform live. Art Garfunkel I've seen live. And
Really?
he is a singer, you know. I mean, he sang a Pharrell song, which was great when I saw him. And he's just a conduit for something greater than him to float the voice to come out. It's great.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, you know, you've been to the Grammys.
I have been to the Grammys.
How was that experience?
It was great. It was very surreal. I'm not a very starstruck person, but it was great. We were on the red carpet, and we were next to The Weeknd and Ed Sheeran and Adele, and we had great seats, and we got to, you know, see so many exciting performers. You know, they did the Lionel Richie tribute when we were there.
Oh, wow.
And, we got to go backstage the day before the Grammys, which was really cool, and do the production tour with the National Recording Academy. So we got to see the setups. They set all your instruments up on a pallet, and then they roll it up right on stage. So we got to, I sat on Adele's keyboard in its case, and we got to see Justin Bieber stuff, and
did you get to play
Alabama
or jam
Shakes.
with anybody?
We played in LA. We played at a bar called Molly Malone's, which is where the Red Hot Chili Peppers were discovered. It's on Wilshire. We just went back. We just got back about a month ago from Grammy Week, and we performed in Venice Beach. We performed in Sunset, on Sunset Strip during, that was our Grammy Week performance. And yeah, it's really exciting. It's LA is I love it there. But it's not like St. Augustine.
What do you like about St. Augustine, playing here?
Playing here?
Yeah.
No, it's just people are so into it.
Well, you get an audience from all over the world.
You get an audience from all over the world. I'm at the bank at Wells Fargo, and I have the lady coming through the drive-thru. Are you playing this weekend? You know, it's like this small town versus, you know, I get to play on some great stages here.
The
and
great
it's home,
musicians
you know,
here,
it's home.
too.
So my family can come and see. You know.
But
It's diverse. There's so much.
Stock of musicians here.
It's crazy.
No, we had Sam Passetti last week.
He's the best.
Wow.
I had him at my house on Tuesday. Yeah.
And so he's amazing. Or Amy Hendrickson.
She's great.
There's so many people.
So many. I mean, there's the singer-songwriter, the guitars, and then there's just there's bands. There's DJs here that are
Now you have a daughter.
I do.
She's 9. Is
She's
she?
9.
How does she feel having Mama the singer?
She gives me a lot of flack all the time. She says, "Oh, Ramona Quimby," and I say, "You're not allowed to call me Ramona Quimby anymore." But she's awesome. She makes flyers for us and wants to be our manager, and she wants to be a filmmaker. So she's actually very into her. She's very smart and very organized.
All right. And where does name Ramona Quimby? Why is
Ramona
the band
Quimby.
called Ramona Quimby?
We get that question all the time. So Ramona Quimby is a book character from the 1950s. It's a little precocious girl in a classic piece of children's literature called Ramona the Pest by Beverly Cleary. And the girl in the story is very precocious, very curious, mischievous. She's often perceived as bossy or sassy or too much, similarly to myself. And she's just, she's just trying to figure everything out. And she's a kid, so, she's got these parameters. She got to not make her teacher mad, not make her mom mad, not make her sister mad. So,
So, yeah, because I mentioned that to someone that I was having Ramona Quimby, and the girl said, "That's a book," right away she said. And I remember you had mentioned that. So what does the future have in store for this band?
So we have a lot going on this year. We're kind of noted throughout Florida for our style of taking covers and, restylizing them to our, groove and setting the tone with
So you'll take a hip-hop
popular
song
music.
and jazz it up?
Exactly. So, and things like Postmodern Jukebox have really popularized that style of playing. So we gig a lot and play covers. That's what we're known for. We are releasing our first original full-length album.
Wow.
And
does it have a title?
It's called Ramona. And we're dropping the Quimby. So I'll just be Ramona. Just Madonna, Ramona, Adele, whoever. So we're going to do that. And we actually have our Kickstarter up right now. You can get an album on pre-sale. We have our first 500 physical albums up for grabs. Go grab one. And we're playing a lot of shows to promote that. We're headlining Florida Spirits Festival in Jacksonville. We're at 1904 Music Hall, May 23rd. Our physical album release party is July 4th at Prohibition Kitchen with the 9-piece band.
Well, I hope I get an invitation.
Yeah, you're invited. You're in front row. So we have a lot going on. Once we release this original album, it will go to the National Recording Academy. And then hopefully I'm submitting to become a voting member of the National Recording Academy this year. So then I'll get to vote on the Grammys.
That's awesome.
We'll be invited to go back out next year and really tour extensively radio and PR and BBC and stuff, promote the album.
Well, we've basically ran out of time, man. I can bring you back and talk music all day long.
Awesome.
You are awesome. Would you and your band play something for us?
We definitely will, man. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, when we come back, Ramona Quimby.
Cheers.
Soon to be Ramona.
Ramona.
Hello, I'm Grant Paxton. Welcome to Foxtrot Creative Studio. Let me show you what we do.
We've been in business for 3 years now. We can create different graphics for you, ads, mailers, flyers, business cards, logos, and even websites. And we're also a printing company as well. So we can create for you the design you need and then the final product. We can usually get you with a design, we can get you a brand new business card in less than 2 days.
In her special way, and I just have to say, in my life, I love that woman, 'cause she's more than I deserve, and she gives me give all I have to give. I'm talking about that hummingbird.